Freitas Effect.
The Freitas Effect? Who?
The Freitas Effect is a podcast where everyone is family and we join in communion to get some giggles, a serving of side-eye, and a helping of food for thought.
Hey guys, so I'm your co-host, Azeb Freitas.
Hey, I'm Simon Freitas, the other co-host.
And as you just heard, this is the motherfucking Freitas Effect!
Yay!
So this week, we are going to be talking to you about something, but we're going to talk about last week first. So last week we had our dear friend, youth worker, vocalist, and hardcore wrestling fan Jeremy Gooden on the show to explain how wrestling is a form of storytelling. Yeah. This week, to continue our series of storytelling, we are going to be talking about comedy.
Yeah.
So this week we're featuring an interview with another friend who's also a local comedian, Gloria Rose. But before that, Simon, do you have any announcements?
I do not believe I have any announcements. Do you have any announcements?
I sure do. So, as I mentioned in the past, I'm doing some work with a local dance company. I am currently the artist in residence with Nozama Dance Collective in Cambridge. We have been virtually working together since like June. And we have announced our dance video that will be premiering on September 26th as part of our Empower One Another virtual event that's also being co-hosted with Onstage Dance Company. It will be featuring a series of videos that dancers have been working on. The piece that I am showcasing is called Becoming an Activist, an Allyship Project. This project aims to demonstrate through small actions and self-reflection that we can create impactful, positive change and be better allies to one another. So for me, a part of this that was really important, especially since I'm the only person of color in this piece, was representing this aspect of kind of doubt that we all naturally have when these, like, you know, situations happen that are around race or something that is really sensitive to our identity, that we feel that like others are not going to show empathy or compassion. So for me, I really wanted to bring the point home of how the need for self-care while these conversations are happening are really freaking crucial for people of color. So I hope that you consider attending and that more information will be available on my social media. So just check out my Instagram at Azeb, AZEB, 3_. But before we get deeper into this episode, it's time for
How the Turns of Tabled. So, on this episode of How the Turns Have Tabled, I will be telling you about my senior performance of Who's On First. If this is your first time listening to The Freitas Effect, I will slowly, quickly, my words are slurring, I'm not drunk, I swear for God. I will explain How the Turns Have Tabled is. It is our storytelling section. It is our plot twist section. It is the part of my life that, something went sideways and we figured it the fuck out and we learned from it, and you're going to learn from it too.
Heyo.
So, as I said, it was my senior year. It was the last performance of my senior year, and we had actually changed directors for my last year of high school, so we did a variety show instead of an actual play. As you can tell by the tone of voice, I was super excited about that. But the scene that we did was called Who's On First?
Who's On First?
If you don't know the scene, it's a comedic scene performed by the iconic duo Abbott and Costello, where Abbott is going to be a baseball coach and Costello is going to be a member of the team. And Abbott is telling Costello about all the team members, and the comedic part of the scene is basically the first baseman is nicknamed Who, the second nicknamed baseman is What, third baseman nickname is I don't know. Goes back and forth. It's really funny. Just fucking look it up because, obviously I'm butchering it right now. But
wait, it's like pretty iconic, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a classic staple of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I also just want to like mention that like Simon did this his senior year in high school with his other good friend Jimmy. And it was really funny because they have really good chemistry, and they also like low-key were like the only two like black kids that were like actually in the theater department that could pull this off and make it like funny.
But
yeah.
So the thing about that was I originally was not cast to do the scene with Jimmy. If you've been listening to the show, Jimmy is Jomil Tovar, the amazing black tour. Please fucking hire us. But at first I was supposed to do the scene with another kid who he wasn't as serious about the scene as I was, which was super fucking annoying because he said how much he loved the scene and like there was just so much false hype and he didn't have anything memorized, he didn't have any preparation, and he quit 2 weeks before the performance. So I was extremely crushed. And this is how the turns have tabled because everything was going great and then it wasn't going great. So I had very little time to find anyone to play Costello. And, I legitimately was recruiting someone for the scene. So I got, pretty into character. And then eventually I found Jimmy, wherever the fuck he was in his life senior year. And he had whatever the fuck going on in his life, but we got him approved by the director to play Costello, which was a lot of fucking work because Jimmy, as much as, if you knew Jimmy, he didn't show up for high school much, but he graduated, so we're here. So, but we worked our fucking asses off. And then fucking plot twist number 2, my friends. I found out my graduation party was the same night as our last fucking performance. So I didn't even get to perform all the nights, but, you take what you can out of what you get. So I was really lucky to have Jimmy step in when he did, and we fucking slayed. So,
Heyo.
Moral of the story is just because something seems hopeless doesn't mean you should give up on yourself, because there are people out there in the world that can help you, even if you're not thinking of them at the moment. I was lucky to have Jimmy step in when he did, but if I never went looking for help, I never would have gotten it.
Oof.
Also, I must say it again. If anyone is looking for 2 blacktors, we out here.
The term blackter is a term that we coined in 2020.
Black actors.
It is a formation of 2 words, black and actor. Together they make the word blackter. If you are looking for a blacktress, it is the same word, but for a female actress that is also black. If you are, I don't know what the non-binary word would be for other people, but if we're going to use the masculine patriarchy word of blacktor for everyone that is captured under the gender non-binary form, then I guess we are all blacktors in a sense.
Yes, we will be as inclusive as our white systemic, racist ingrained theater community. Words are hard.
Wait, so okay, how does Who's on First go?
So it's like,
do I go first or you go first?
It would be like, who's on first? Okay, so just ask.
I ask you, right?
Yeah.
Who's on first?
Who?
Who's on first?
Who?
What happens after that?
No, what's on second?
Oh, so what?
Yeah, second base.
Who's on second?
No, who's on first?
Oh, I hate this. So then how does it progress?
How is not on the team?
What? Bitch!
Bitch is not on the team. Rude. But it progresses being like, all right, who's the first baseman? What's on second? And I don't know who's on third base. And then you're just like, wait, who's on first? Yes.
Oh my God!
Right.
Goodbye. End conversation. Hang up Peppa the Pig style. All right.
I can't whistle.
And now we're going to take a quick break.
Wait, before the fucking break, we mentioned Peppa the Pig, and we can't just throw it out there.
Okay.
Yo, we're gonna add the link to the Peppa the Pig whistling scene to this fucking episode, because that is fucking iconic. Like, it is a child's show I never would watch in my life. I was exposed to it in college of this one scene where this sheep, something about whistling, and it's amazing. Y'all need to watch it now.
All right.
Right now.
So you have no choice. Go through the description and you have to listen to it.
Yes.
Or else you can't listen to the rest of the episode.
Yes.
Bye! But come back because
Please.
we're just taking a break.
Please, we're kidding.
Hi, friends.
First, we just want to thank everyone who's made a donation to support the show through the various platforms like Patreon or by attending our events.
Running a podcast costs money because, as we say often,
This shit ain't free.
So here's what your dollars go to when you make a financial contribution to us.
Production costs. I edit every episode, and when you make a donation, it goes towards paying for reliable editing software, so we don't lose our audio files.
Streaming. It costs $18 a month to keep our episodes available for you to listen wherever you hear us.
No matter what donation amount, these are just a few of the ways we've seen how our patrons are able to make a positive impact on the show.
See what exclusive access you can get to our content by becoming a monthly donor through Patreon or PayPal. You can go to patreon.com/thefreitaseffect and
you can find the PayPal link in any of our episode descriptions or in our Instagram bio. All right, let's get back to the show.
howdy doody, we back.
Yee, and now we are going to hop right on into our interview with Gloria.
All right, y'all, so we are here with our special guest. I'm going to have her introduce herself and how she wants the people to know her.
Hi, I'm Gloria Rose. I did comedy for a while. That's it.
Cool. So, dear Gloria, would you care to share what you think storytelling is in your own words?
Sure. I mean, pretty basic, honestly. I just always, it's something with a beginning, middle, and end to me. It's nice if it resolves at the end, but I have known a lot of talented storytellers that necessarily doesn't happen. But for me, when I tell stories, it definitely does.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, would you consider yourself to be a storyteller?
I think so. I think especially when I performed, I could feel my style definitely leaned more towards storytelling, and I feel like in general, I definitely interpret the world in terms of like stories and storytelling. So, yes, I do.
Word. Would you say that comedy is a form of storytelling?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that a lot once you emailed me the question, because comedy obviously can be just like, kind of jokey jokes. But then I'm like, okay, but when you think about where the like jokey jokes come from, it comes from either something you saw or something you've experienced, and like that usually has a story to it. So I think it is where I landed.
Yeah, I mean, I agree personally.
Yeah, and I mean, you get, like, I feel like Mike Birbiglia is one who's, like, he's, like, a storyteller, and it's very funny. Like, if you watch his specials, there's, like, a whole, like, arc to it. But even people who aren't on that level, they're just telling either, like, teeny tiny stories or kind of longer stories.
So, when were you first exposed to comedy?
I was first exposed to comedy when I was actually pretty young. My parents were really into Eddie Izzard Dressed to Kill, which is a special from, I'll say, like the 90s. So we had that on DVD, and me and my sister would just watch that like over and over and over again. So from a pretty young age.
Cool. And then did you like continue to like watch like stand-up comedy, or would you say that like that was something that inspired you to pursue comedy?
That definitely, like, there's some comedians you'll talk to who definitely were kind of comedy nerds from the get-go, who, like, were kids watching, like, SNL and all that, which I didn't really do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was always someone who was interested in, like, making people laugh and, like, laughing, and, like, I guess the kind of fun of comedy, but, like, I wouldn't say I got, like, into, like, comedy until, like, my adult life, and that kind of happened just because I like to perform, and I tried acting, and acting I'm not terribly good at because I'm just bad at not being myself. Like, comedy is just the way you can kind of perform and just kind of be yourself. It's still kind of kind of flirt with acting and doing other facades, but you're still kind of at your core just being yourself on stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like
that. And that was probably, someone said to me once that they were like, oh, you should try stand-up comedy. And I was like, oh, I guess I will. And then I did, and I really enjoyed it. So, one of those things.
So, it sounds like you enjoyed it, like, a lot. Why did you decide to stop?
So I kind of reached my ceiling, I think, within the Boston comedy scene. And I did for a while. I was kind of planning on, I was like, oh, I'll do the, like, move to New York thing. But as I was kind of doing more comedy, I wasn't finding it fulfilling like I did in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can definitely be kind of a toxic environment for a lot of reasons. And I think while I was good at comedy, I wasn't like the best at comedy. And there's like a lot of people like that, and there's a lot of like jealousy, and there's a lot of like, I don't know, just like it gets a little high schooly. People get like upset over people forgetting things, so they don't think they're talented, and then which I kind of felt myself falling into that pattern, and I just didn't really want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. And that's obviously not everyone in comedy. I've met some very lovely people who don't do that, but I felt myself going there.
Yeah.
So.
And that's real. Like, good for you for like recognizing that for yourself, you know?
Yeah, and trying to take a more healthy.
Yeah. And I think part of it, honestly, I kind of realized, like, because I mean, I do like telling jokes, but I got to a point in my life, and maybe it's the times that I'm like feeling very earnest as opposed to like jokey, which is not the vibe you should have on stage as a stand-up comedian. So it just, I feel like I changed a little bit and kind of grew away from it.
Cool. So do you have any advice for anyone, or especially female comedians who are kind of like aspiring to go down this route?
Yeah, I mean, just write as much as you can and get out there. Don't waste any money on taking a class, which I did. Just, yeah, and I say, I guess like part of it's ignore the haters. Don't take any advice from any man you meet at an open mic.
Period.
Period. About anything. They'll give you advice about comedy, but also about anything.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, and I guess just believe in yourself.
Yes.
Which is hard. Yeah, and don't do it if you don't like it.
Facts.
That's my other. Yeah.
Facts.
That's also life advice.
Go ahead.
I just say life advice. Like, if you're doing something you're not enjoying it, then just don't do it.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, you know?
I was gonna ask, who is your favorite comedian of all time?
Oh god, of all time is hard to answer. I do really fucking love Tig Notaro.
Okay.
She's definitely up there, and I also have such a soft spot for Steve Martin. So.
Cool.
Yeah. And I do love Eddie Izzard, obviously, from a young age.
I feel so bad. I don't know who these people are.
You should go on Spotify and listen to Tig Notaro called Live. It's one of the greatest specials I've ever heard.
Cool. And then I was also going to say, if you had to compare your style, like your comedy style, to a comedian, do you feel like, is that a fair question to even ask? Because, I don't know, maybe people feel like, you know, we shouldn't be comparing each other. But yeah.
That's a question I've gotten before, and like I think that was a fair question, or like at least a common question. I will say I guess I'm a little Tig Notaro, who's got a very like kind of dry delivery, which I definitely do. As you might have noticed.
as we are experiencing.
As you are currently experiencing.
I love it.
Completely understand.
I am what I am.
Yeah.
Yes, with both Y's.
Potated.
Yep.
Right.
Word. Hey, girl. Well, that's all our questions. Do you have any recommendations of like upcoming comedians that we should be listening to?
Oh, absolutely. You should check Sam J, who's from Roxbury, Massachusetts. She just got a Netflix special. She writes for SNL.
Bet.
So, yeah, I believe the special is called 3 a.m, but you should definitely check that out.
Okay, for sure. We'll let our people know.
Do it.
Word.
All right, well,
All right,
thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. So, we're back from Gloria's interview. Simon, do you have any points that you want to bring up?
I do. So one point that I really vibed with that she talked about was making people laugh. And, you know, she likes to be herself when she's being a performer. Like, I personally, I like to take the challenge on of taking on an entirely different persona, and that's why I took up acting instead of comedy. But it is, it's when you're a comedian, I feel like you can take that into your personal life. Like, you can really, it helps with being in social situations and making other people more comfortable to be around you, or making yourself more comfortable to be around other people.
I think it's a journey too, because I remember I was watching Comedians in Cars with Jerry Seinfeld, and he was having a conversation with Alec Baldwin, and Alec Baldwin was like, oh, you never like had an interest in theater, you never pursued acting, and Jerry Seinfeld was like, nah man, that's not me, like I just want to be myself. And so like, it's interesting because when I look at comedians, which is a very male-dominated industry, and it's cool to hear that also from Gloria, that she just wants to be herself, because it's like, that's obviously an intersectional thing of that. It's interesting to hear like comedians say, yeah, this is what differentiates me from what I'm actually doing, telling you personal stories that may not be true, maybe a little bit twisted just for the sake of delivery and for comedy to be funny.
Yeah.
But you're getting a message across. You're still telling a story, and
there's still truth to it.
Yeah, and it's relatable content. It's genuine relatable content because it's actually coming from themselves.
Yeah.
And so not saying that actors don't do the same thing, but it's cool to see the differences there, and then the layers that make it similar and different.
Yeah, because I feel like when I'm acting, it's pulling from a place in my life where it's, where I need to find that gut reaction instead of just remembering a memory of when I was like, okay, so this is what happened to me. Like, and it's like, it's a totally different experience when I'm like telling a story about myself instead of when I'm delivering a monologue.
Because it's like there's an internal story happening within yourself when you're an actor, because you're capturing a character, whereas when you're doing comedy, it's more external, but it also is slightly fabricated. Yeah.
Also, I really enjoyed how she said there was the 90s DVD that she would watch on repeat. Like,
everybody has one of those.
Oh god, I know that we have that the Eddie Murphy DVD. Oh god.
Oh, Delirious.
Yeah. Like, we've seen that like a billion fucking times.
Yeah, hell yeah. With the ice cream.
Yeah.
You ain't got no ice cream. My mama's on welfare.
Oh fuck! It's like, as fucked up as it is, like, that's comedy.
But
like,
at the end of the day, it's like, that's the point. It's like,
life
if
is
you can't,
fucked up,
and it's like, if you can't take a joke, then why are you even here? It's like, if you can't laugh at that shit, because that's the dude. Okay, so like, just me and my boy Talik Watson. I say his whole government name because I be doing that, and I'm sorry if you don't want me to, but I already did.
Sorry.
So anyways, we used to have a lot of conversations of how, we're very cheery people. Like, when we're together, we just laugh.
Yeah.
And we laugh at really hard shit because we deal with a lot of hard shit. And I was like, yo, honestly, like, that's the only way that black people really survive is by, like, laughing through it. Because if you're not laughing through it, then we'd all be dead by now.
Or we're just gonna be crying all the
Or we just
fucking
literally
time.
be crying. Like, and like, that's just like humanity at the end of the day. It's like, you have to laugh at it to get through it, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously there is a point in which you should address things. But like, that's just like human decency, is that like our brains can only handle so much.
Yep.
So sometimes you just have to choose to laugh shit off.
Yep.
And just like, don't sweat the small stuff,
Yeah, I mean, even I remember when I was working at Dot House, and I was with all my biddies in human resources, and I was explaining a story at my house that was very stressful for me, and they all burst out laughing, and I was so angry in the moment. But then they were like, Simon, do you not hear the humor and how fucking insane that situation is?
Exactly.
Like, it's funny. Like, it's like no one else would ever expect that to happen, and it's that, the unexpectedness, like that out of fucking nowhere, something else is about to fucking happen too. Like,
and it's like, yes, while it may be dark, it's like, okay, not all humor is for everyone. So like, you just gotta find what thing you think is funny and you stick with that. But if other people are laughing at something else, then just, that's not for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not everything's gonna be for you.
Yeah,
some
facts.
people like chocolate cake, some people are allergic to chocolate. Like,
I mean,
figure it the fuck
that's
out.
literally the whole point of freedom of speech.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know that this can go in all types of directions, but
yeah.
I'm not going in that direction.
No.
Because, I mean, also, like, if we're going to talk, like, for 2 seconds about, like, when people make jokes that are, like, stereotype jokes, I think generationally, we've all come to agree that, like, we just don't think that shit is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not. At some point, like, you know, there's shit that, like, our dad says that we're sitting there like, yeah, that's just not funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that might be for another audience that caters to those thoughts and those patterns of behavior, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, humor changes and ages over time, and you just got to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's, like, the politically correct crowd, and then there's, like, other people who will laugh at literally anything. And I'm just sitting there like, if it's funny, I'm gonna fucking laugh at it.
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the day, I know that it's not meant to come across as an insult to me. I'm just, like, seeing it as a critique.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the basis of, like, for example, one of the greatest of all time, Dave Chappelle. You know?
Yes.
And also, let's talk about the variety and range in terms of, like, intellectual comedy that exists. Like, for example, George Carlin.
Yes.
You know, like, I think because Simon and I grew up in a household where we watched a lot of comedy growing up and were exposed to a lot of different comedians. I mean, specifically, obviously, a lot of white comedians and also a lot of white male comedians because, like, that's just kind of what was there at the time.
Because, again, that's the most dominated, like, I mean, the profession is mostly dominated by white males, so it makes the most sense that that's what we were exposed to.
Yeah, but I mean, also, of course, like, over time, there were, you know, Dave Chappelle's and Eddie Murphy's and, like, plenty of other, like, men of color. And then also over time, there's Tiffany Haddish's and there's, like, other women that also exist from other demographics. These are just the ones that are coming off the top of my head. And so, you know, representation is obviously important, and that's why we really wanted to capture, like, Gloria's perspective, because, you know, while she's, like, a local comedian, she carries, like, that female comedian perspective and that experience of the reason why there are so few.
Yes.
And why so few choose to continue to pursue this as a career. I have so many friends that are women of color that are fucking hilarious that should be on stages right now, but are choosing not to go down the comedian path because they don't want to deal with all the same shit that Gloria was listing. You know what I mean?
I mean, even if you're not a comedian, if you're just a woman performer in general, like, take out, like, woman of color. Just take a woman performer. Like, that environment that you're putting yourself into, the network that you need to grow in, like, for you to be taken fucking seriously to, like, it's like, fuck everyone. Like, you have to be so confident in yourself that it's so fucking hard. Like, Zoe, like, our friend Zoe's a female jazz trumpet player, and she tells us how it's such a bro-y profession. Like, it's all the guys that are hanging out with each other. Like, their voices are heard and their voices are trusted, but when she tries to say something, then it's always questioned. Like, you know, it's so sexist. It's sad, but it's also, it just shows you how you can run out of energy just because you're fucking human, but that doesn't mean that you don't have fucking talent. Like,
major facts.
So I feel like that segues really good into the toxic environment that she brings up, Glory brings up in her interview, because you know, you can, like I said, like, you can be very talented, but you can get very tired of people being jealous of you. And if you don't like something, you can stop.
Amen.
Like she said.
Amen.
Like, you know, you don't have to keep hurting yourself just because you think that's what you should be doing in life.
Facts.
Like, unless you get your own enjoyment out of it, unless you feel like you are growing from it and you are getting a positive experience in some sense, and you can really weigh out all that, you know, toxicity and, like, find healthy ways of coping, then you really need to put yourself first, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be you looking out for yourself. Like, it's not going to be these people that are going to be reflecting at their homes of, oh, I shouldn't have said that to this person. It's going to be, all right, now I need to be working on my own material. Like,
you don't have to do anything because of other people's projected guilt on you. You don't have to do anything because of other people's projected discomfort with what you're trying to do. You don't have to do anything that does not serve how you feel in that moment. And you don't have to feel crazy for wanting to do something out of the ordinary or wanting to do something that other people feel like they can't support you in, because guess what? There are probably ways that they can support you, and you just don't have the answer in that moment. I had a really, really good conversation with one of my really good friends, Affy Teddy Fio. And she just kind of validated everything that I was thinking, because I was thinking these similar things. I was just like, honestly, right now, I'm just doing things to please other people at this point.
Yeah.
And I know very damn fucking well what I want to be doing for myself. And so I just kind of needed to come to terms that I'm not crazy for wanting to do what I need to do for me in this moment.
Yep.
You know?
Relatable.
And sometimes, like, it's just really validating to hear that from another person, that you're not crazy for wanting to actually do what you actually want to do.
Yeah, for
you know?
serving yourself.
Because just because you want to do a very specific thing that you want to do does not mean it's impossible. It just means you're the first person doing it in your ecosystem.
Yep.
And other people are scared because they don't know how to do it either.
Yep.
You know? Yeah.
No, I totally vibe. Even when I was talking to one of Azeb's mentors, Melissa. Can I say her whole name?
Melissa Alexis from Cultural Fabric.
Yeah. And I remember I was going off about how I wanted to go to grad school because I felt like I need to be like a therapist for everyone else on earth. And she was like, okay, this doesn't seem like it's for you. Like, what's your magic? Like, what's your thing that's going to be for you? And I was like, fuck, I got to think about me. Like, and it's just, you know, to have that realization of, oh shit, I can do stuff for myself.
Yep.
Like, I can just think about me for a minute instead of everyone else on fucking earth.
Yep.
And then from there, I can think about how I can serve myself and how that can serve others. Like,
Major facts.
and it's just,
I think especially when you come from a background of, I just think that, like, you know, people of color, we grow up and we think in this communal state of mind where we have to serve everyone else and put ourselves last. Whereas white people have this sense of entitlement and they're just like, no, I'm going to do that. That's for me. I was born, this is my privilege to do that. And it's like, okay, like, it's just crazy how these things play out like that, you know? And how this is still a projected like life path for us.
Yeah.
And so when you choose to disrupt that life path, your ecosystem is shook. People are confused. They're like, how dare you betray me like that? Because you are the core of the support system for them. So we went on a super tangent there because this is supposed to be about comedy.
yes.
But just wanted to remind y'all,
can say
put yourself first.
Put yourself first, girl. Worry about yourself. Oh, wait. Sorry, that went in a Crazy Ex-Girlfriend song. Yeah, I guess the one last point that I wanted to make was just, we went on this giant tangent, so I'll just close it off with, don't waste your money or take advice from haters or men.
Yo, that was the key words.
Those
those
amazing.
were the words.
Yes.
Thank you, Gloria.
So great.
We don't need to take advice or money from men.
Fuck them.
Ever.
Yes.
Capitalism.
Azeb, do you have any points you want to bring?
Patriarchy.
Fuck the
Burn it
patriarchy.
down to the ground!
Literally.
The world's on fire! Do what you want! Who cares? Let's go into dad jokes, notes, and quotes.
Dad jokes. Notes and quotes. Dad jokes. Notes and quotes. Dad jokes. Dad jokes. Notes and quotes. By Scott Freitas.
All right, Azeb, I'm going to show you a word,
Okay.
and then you repeat it.
Okay.
No, I repeat it. You read it. You read it.
Okay.
Here's the first word.
Damn it.
You have to be quick.
Scallops.
Okay.
Cards. Starter motor. Heart attack.
Wow.
Party time. Phone charger. Lobster roll. What the fuck? Oh, Charlie card.
That's the other part of the game. You have to be able to read my writing.
Coinstar. Westminster Abbey.
You can't repeat it. You only get to say it once.
Tartar sauce. Divider.
Wow.
I can read. Card sharks.
This is the last one.
Bumper cards.
Okay, should we stop this or just
No,
get
no,
set?
we'll
Okay.
leave it alone.
Okay, you go get them.
Okay.
And leave the room.
The urge to say it in a Boston accent was so hard.
Well, why didn't you just do it? It's okay. You chose your accent. Don't tell him what you did and go. All right, get him up here quick. So like I told Azeb, just say it however you want to. All right.
Okay.
I know she didn't do what I thought she was going to do, but I don't want to influence you. You got to be quick, too.
Scallops.
And you only get to say it once.
Cards. Starter motor. Heart attack. Party time. Phone charger. Lobster roll. Charlie card. Coinstar.
I feel like Steve Harvey.
Westminster Abbey. Tartar sauce.
I'm sorry, that was part of the game too. You have to be able to read my writing.
Oh, fuck. Divider. Card sharks. Bumper cars. Bumper stickers.
Okay. Yeah, you guys didn't. But maybe later I'll do another game where you have to read words in
With the Boston accent?
New English.
Because
yeah.
I felt it. I was like, oh, I just want to go like Cad Shacks.
All right, this game is you have to tell me which word Megan Thee Stallion did not say in her song.
Is it Megan the Stallion or Meg the Stallion?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm 50 years old. I'm going to get it wrong.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Yee.
Sexy, nasty, bougie, ratchet, moody, classy.
Wait, what's the game?
You have to say which one she doesn't say in her song. She says all this stuff except one of these words.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw them at you again, and then you just gotta choose one.
All right.
Sexy, nasty, bougie,
I know which one it is.
ratchet, moody, classy.
Sexy.
Simon?
I'm going to go with nasty. Just say something different.
Azeb was right.
I know.
Sexy. You're good, Azeb.
I
Wow, that was
literally-
tough.
I had to like sing it. I was
Yeah,
like, sassy,
that's
bougie,
tough.
nasty, classy, bougie,
I don't know
ratchet.
Meg the Stallion, so this is going to be rough
That's
for
okay.
me.
No. You know the next person. Okay, this game is what did Ryan Seacrest say?
Oh, let's
Oh,
go. Let's
okay.
go.
All right, here we go. Mind your peas and crackers.
Oh my god.
The island where there's more than one way to lie in the sun.
Hey.
Know your neighbors before you buy a house. Basketball.
What the hell does Ryan Seacrest do?
He
Okay.
does ads on the radio, like he's got radio shows. Do you want me to repeat any of them?
I think it's the island one.
Okay, Simon's going number 2. Was it?
Yeah.
You want to go with the more than one way to lie in the sun? Or
No, I think he would say something like that.
well, that's what you're trying to guess. Which
I think
one did
mind
he
your
say?
peas and crackers.
You want to go with mind your peas and crackers?
Yeah.
No, Simon was right. It's
Yay!
number 2. Yeah. Okay,
What a
Wait,
cornball.
So what is that line?
which one?
The island, which one's right?
The island where there's more than one way to lie in the sun.
Oh my god.
So
Where's
it's
that
like
from?
it's
Survivor?
no, it's like a dating show. Like
What?
he's promoting some dating show,
But
Date
did he
Island.
Oh, the one that he did say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what he
Oh, I
did
thought we were
say.
supposed to say what he
Oh,
didn't say.
no,
That's why I was
no,
like,
yeah,
that's
well,
totally something
okay.
he would say.
All right, well, yeah, you should have stuck with it. All right, I'm sorry. I'll be more clear on the rules.
My bad.
Okay, this is which quote is from prison?
Oh my god.
Ooh.
3 hots in a cot.
When were you in prison?
I watch a lot of documentaries.
Okay.
3 hots in a cot. I'm a booty warrior.
Oh yeah.
The only thing we all have in common is aging. Gay for the stay.
Booty
I'm
warrior.
a booty warrior.
No, it's which one was not.
Oh,
Damn it,
okay.
we suck at this.
That's okay. So booty warrior, we both agree booty warrior
It
was said in
definitely was
okay,
said
yeah,
in prison.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You
You want to hear real quick? Yeah, 3 hots in a
Show
cot.
us the show.
Yeah. The only thing we have in common is aging and gay for the stay.
What was not said in prison?
Yes, what was not said in prison.
Definitely, yeah. I was gonna say
The
not.
thing about aging?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're both right.
I was
Yeah.
gonna- yeah.
Because
Okay.
you gotta get it somehow when you're in there.
Okay.
Gay for the stay,
Yeah,
yo.
gay for
Okay.
stay.
Okay, this is which one is me? The road.
Me as in
wh-
you?
Which one did I say?
Scott face.
Scott
This has
Pitt.
come out of my mouth.
Okay.
That's what she's.
The road. You gotta get a rim shot effect.
I will.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Florida is where Cubans go to live and Jews go to die. If you're looking for a 2-story home, I'm your man. I'll tell you one story before you buy it and another one after.
It's too long for you.
The last one is, hey Steve, when is Saint Know-It-All's Day?
I really want it to be the Steve one because I can just see you at work saying that.
Every time you guys are on the, like, I do these games and you say, I really want it to be that one, it usually is, but you change your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it that?
You want to go with it?
Yeah.
I feel like that was
It
a big
was.
thing.
Yeah.
Yay!
Steve's an asshole.
Shout out to Steve.
Okay. All right.
Hashtag
Okay.
Team Steve.
Steve.
This is now this is you guys probably gonna hate me for this one, but I'm gonna do it. Okay.
All right.
This is you have to guess what did Megan Thee Stallion say. So what did she say?
Okay.
Okay, ready?
I already know.
Ashy. Oh, did you read them all?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Ashy, hairy, stanky, stupid, swollen, infected, tested.
Simon, do you want to go first?
Can I hear them again?
They're all here. Then what's
Okay.
happening? But yeah, everybody knows she says that. Ashy, hairy, stanky, stupid, swollen, infected, tested. What's happening?
Okay. I'm gonna say stanky.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's acting stupid. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. What's that?
Whatever. I don't know these.
All right.
Simon's
That's
not a
the end of the
fan.
games. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the games.
Thank you. All right, friends, and now it is time for the key takeaway.
Take them away. So my main key takeaway is fuck the patriarchy. Y'all know how I feel. If you don't know, now you know. Bye. That's all I have to say. Simon?
Cool. So my key takeaway is going to be serve yourself. First of all, stay true to yourself. Don't do anything that is not serving you. If it's not serving you, then why are you doing it? Really question yourself and your values at that moment. Don't question your whole identity. Just question, the action that is happening. I reflect on my own, experience of, like my jobs that I did that I thought was just, I was doing it for my resume, or I was doing it for other people to, have a better life or have better things in them. And it wasn't serving anyone, and I didn't, full ass it, and there's no reason to half ass anything. Also, it wasn't a good environment for me to grow in. Gloria's experience is another thing to reflect on. Fucking just do anything that is going to be making you the best person that you can be, so that you can help other people be the best people that they can be. Also, fuck the patriarchy. Anything else? Ready to sign?
Yes. Drink your water, stay moisturized, make sure you're showering, washing your hands, wearing your mask, reading books, calling your friends, checking in on your friends and family.
If they will get a vaccine, it's not a fucking microchip.
Yep. Eat healthy. Make sure you're getting some exercise. Brush your teeth. Floss.
Use leave-in conditioner.
Listen to new music. And that's it.
Get a
Oh,
turtle.
yeah. Donate to the podcast. So let's sign off.
All right. Be sure to like the episode.
Share with friends. Follow on social media.
And subscribe and comment on SoundCloud.
Follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you stream us.
Email us or comment on social media, or
Leave a review with any feedback, affirmations, or topics.
you want to hear on the show at.
TheFreightIsAffect@gmail.com.
Thank you for listening.
And have a great rest of your week.
Bye bye.